Hey guys, today we are going to talk about markers. This is for the beginner design student who is brand new to markers. So we're going to work on a metal bronze type of table today. Looks something like this. These are the supplies I have. I use Prismacolor markers. These are the colors that I'm using for this demonstration. I also use a little bit of a white gel pen. Now, when you first start with markers, they're going to have different options when you buy markers. Of course, there's different brands. So I use Prismacolor, and there's also within Prismacolors you have different tip sizes or different tips types. This one is a brush pen, and this one is a double-ended chisel. So you can tell the difference by one is like a wave, and that's a brush tip, and then the one that's like a thick solid line, that is the chisel. So the difference in how it is applied, or what it looks like when it's applied, is it's kind of like a paintbrush basically. So it's a little harder to get a steady stroke, but it's also good for plants or something that's more fluid when you're trying to draw the line types. I prefer to use the chisel, and it looks something like this. So you can rotate it and you can make it super fine if you want, or you can use it as very bold, and the other end is like a medium fine pen. So this is what it looks like on the correct side. If you accidentally, flip your paper over when when it comes out, it might look like this when you apply it. It's supposed to look like this. So this part is wrong, okay? So it doesn't matter. This is the same color I use on both sides, but you can see that this is really streaky, and this part, this is very bold, okay? So I want you to make sure you are working on the correct side of the marker paper. The marker paper I like to use is the Canson brand Pro Layout paper. So I have had really good luck with that. So that's the one I use for all of my demonstrations. All right, the next thing, whenever you are approaching any kind of furniture piece, you want to look at your marker supply and kind of create a value scale so that when you are laying down markers, you are laying marker color on top of marker color, not right next to it, but on top of it, because you are trying to build the depth of color. So you're trying to get a range, okay? So you'll have within a family, you'll have the light colors, the medium colors, the dark colors. So you get to know like the order that you want to lay it down, so that whenever you're working on the actual piece, you remember what order you used. Now, when you start to sketch, I sketch, in the lightest gray marker I have, so hopefully you can see it up here. But when you have something that is cone-like in shape, you should go ahead and do some center guidelines as well as horizontal guidelines. It helps keep things symmetrical and level. So if you have a center guideline, you just try to match whatever's on the right to whatever's on the left. If you use a horizontal guideline, you're making sure that your oval is pretty level. So once you get your form done and it's pretty light, you can get going. But you'll want to make sure your form is good before you start to render. You don't want to render something or color something that is incorrect, because then you're putting a lot of time and effort in something that isn't correct. So do your best to get that form and shape down correctly before you get started. I have some demonstrations on drawing different forms, so make sure you check those out. I am just kind of mapping out where my grays would be. And then the next thing I'm going to do is lay out my lightest color. My lightest color here, I think, is a cream color. Now, I'm trying to achieve like a bronze material. So when you look at the image, you are looking to see, okay, what range of colors do you see? So I'm going to put down my lightest color to kind of give myself some confidence when I'm laying this down. And again, I use the chisel end for my broad strokes. You can always rotate your marker so you can get fine lines or you can get thick lines, and that's why I like the chisel brush or chisel marker double-ended tips. I'm giving myself some good base color so that I can achieve like the bronze kind of look. So some light and some medium tones. Then I'm going to mix them up with some blonde wood to give some medium cream color to this table. Now I'm going to use a darker color. This is a light umber, and I start to outline and kind of think about where the shadows will occur, where some deeper, darker values will occur. So right now the contrast is very, very stark. It's kind of scary because you have something very light and all of a sudden you put down some very dark colors. So it is very scary. If you have like a medium color, you want to build up to this, that's fine. So I'm not exactly outlining, but I'm kind of laying down where my darker values will be. So I'm lightly laying this down where the shadows will be so that it looks like something that is round, that has some kind of like a cone-like base. And here is some goldenrod or some mineral orange, and I'm trying to find like a bridge to it so that it's not such a stark contrast. And so I'll come back with my dark values later, but for right now I'm trying to find a medium value contrast. So I have some still showing my lights and building up with some darker colors and then having some medium colors. So you're trying to find a range of colors when you're rendering. And so I come back with some cream to build up my light medium colors. All right, so now I'm taking a darker marker and now I'm a little bit more bold because I've got so much medium tones so that it's not such a stark contrast between my light values and my dark values. So you can take your colors and you can mix them up so that you can find a bridge that you can live with. So if you want to keep it like this and just use only markers, that's perfectly fine. If you want, if you like mixed media, if you have colored pencils, if you want to play with the gel pen, you can pull those out and you can use those to show some texture to it. And that's what we're going to do next. So I have a couple color pencils. You can use like some goldenrod, some browns, some whites, some medium browns. And so you're just using the color pencils to create some kind of texture. The last bit is adding some white gel pen for some really sharp contrast. And I'm going to add that in the same direction of the brushed bronze so that I can get this like bit of highlight on the edge as well as the base. And so that's what it's going to look like.